Hello and welcome back to Industriegigant 2. And when we last left off, we saw the first difficulty spike of the second season of this game. I don't think it will be getting any easier as we move forward with the campaigns, right? So let's just hope that we can perform quite well today. I do remember the second mission involving something about the Prohibition, right? And let's just take a good look here, shall we not? Because I can already see the storage spaces in the background here. Yeah, the special storage space. Alrighty then, so it's 1925, and we have 90s to work with, achieving a company value of 10 million on the side, I would suppose. And otherwise, we're doing what exactly? Probably putting some boosts in here, I would think. Okay, so Prohibition is in effect, I guess. Alright, so preparing for the end of the Prohibition essentially, and since we cannot sell any whiskey right now, it only goes into the storage pile. That's unfortunate, frankly. They want 256 barrels of whiskey, I see. Okay, interesting. Yes, it's by the way the maximum storage capacity of the largest warehouse in this game. Okay, so it doesn't sound super easy, to be honest. Fine weather is good because we need to brew us some whiskey, of course, which relies on wheat white, if I'm not misremembering. We also need some quartz sand here someplace. I think it's further downstream, if I'm not mistaken. I do remember this from the first season. But how much further downstream? Okay, there we go. So we need to use some ships for this, and otherwise the map doesn't offer a whole lot in terms of resources, does it now? Really does it now? Really, that's kind of concerning. So what can we actually build in this mission? Other than the whiskey angle, of course. Alright, so we have quartz sand, and that's about it here, really. Farming gives us, fruit, which we could theoretically turn into fruit juice, I guess. And we have milk, slabs of meat, and chicken eggs. Well, that's going to make us rich, you know, that's the thing. Hamburgers, huh? I guess that's one use for the wheat angle. Well, the towns are absolutely tiny. Absolutely tiny, so selling anything here in any particular quantity will be a bit of a struggle, wouldn't you think? Yeah, these are not worth servicing like at all. We only have the grocery store in the largest town, which is a tiny affair by all considerations. Okay, and they give us 5 million, roughly speaking. Okay, goody. So it's indeed all of our company value right now. So we need to double this as well, don't we? Okay, and of course, if we leave the whiskey angle until later, it will be hard to achieve this target, wouldn't you think? That's also something to keep in mind, but I'm not quite sure when we can start this operation, because it will be very much a loss-making operation. I suppose we could make a 256 bottles in preparation and then just shut down the entire industry. We could do that maybe. Okay, what can we sell here? Only, what? Only apples in the grocery store? No, right, that cannot be correct, right? Okay, just the icon for the grocery store. I was a little bit concerned here. But regardless, we could sell some apples, even though that's far from prime farmland here. Far from it, incidentally. And of course, there's no suitable spot over here anywhere to be seen. Yeah, we need to blanket the entire town in grocery stores to have any chance of success. Because food is the only thing that is available in this mission. That's unfortunate, really. Okay, do we go for that? We have to, of course, also demolish some buildings here, almost doubling. Actually, more than doubling our investment cost. That's not the idea. Yeah, but the demand falls off very sharply. And since we cannot reclaim area from the sea because there's some terraforming in this game, I guess we have to go for this tile. Something like that. Okay, and then hope that we can get all of this in the catchment area, right? Ideally. I'm not too hopeful here, friends. I really am not. I guess it's a start. I mean, what else can we do here, frankly? Okay, so that should allow us to at least have a couple of things humming along full speed, essentially. We just leave it as it is for now. I think that's fine. How are we getting some food stuff in here then? Let's just start with the basics. That is eggs and meat and milk, of course, but I think the farmland is terrible around here, unsurprisingly. That's what I figured, so we have to count everything in then. Oh, great. Yeah, That's not worth setting down. So what about the co-angle? It's even worse. Okay, goodie. So we have to cut everything in from quite a long distance here, I think. So then we're using some trains for this, I guess. Yeah, arable terrain, otherwise our investment isn't paying off. And just confirming my worst fears. Yeah, this town is also really tiny. And as you know, of course, the food angle isn't exactly super profitable. Especially if you have to use some trains for this. Especially then. Oh man, that's not going to be very easy here in this mission. Yeah, this is absolutely dreadful, isn't it? There's no point of even trying that. I think chicken are the most tolerant when it comes to the fertile land to let it off, but free isn't worth anything. I suppose we can build multiples and then have them run full speed. But it's 330,000 each, you know. If you put it over here, well, we can get the same output out of a single farm. I guess there is no choice then, I presume, right? There simply ain't no choices here. We cannot even use the woodland around here. It's off limits to us. Well, I guess it cannot be helped, even though these items don't really sell for a whole lot, frankly. Yeah, right, okay, maybe some processed stuff, but eggs, well, the problem with eggs is that these are not used for anything else, if I'm not misremembering, which is very strange when you think about it. So we can make us some cakes, okay. Bread, of course. But we don't have any wheat right now, so that's the deal here. We have to wait for the harvesting season, and we cannot, frankly, so we sell some basic stuff here, and then see what else we can do with the leftovers. Yeah, okay, the cows don't like this terrain for whatever reason. Okay, whatever. It's not like we have choices here, right? Yes, we're really restricted, and we have a target ticking in the background non-stop, essentially. Of course, we're also competing with farms here for this farmland, indeed. I guess it's the best that we can manage, right? Okay, so in terms of the produce, I mean, the milk, what can we get here? Interestingly enough, we don't need to use glass for this, which is nice. Yeah, that's not even close to satisfying the demand, so let's just make it a cluster, right? Probably. I saw 5 point something over here. No, it was 3 point something. I wish then. Okay, well, I guess then. This needs to be good enough for now. I mean, we have to start somewhere, don't we? We have to start somewhere. Okay, so we need to use trains for this because there's no alternative as you would think in this mission. So let's just start setting in some supplies here. Somehow we can make this happen, right? I'm hoping, without traveling too far away. Also leave some space for additional platforms in case it's necessary later on. Who knows? Although I'm not a fan of this because our trucks are extremely slow, as you would think. I'm sure we're going to use some wheat here eventually, but at the moment we cannot be too picky. I just try to be sensible about this here, not to take up too many slots, of course. Yeah, something like that. I'm sure we're going to make some bread here and some sweet cakes and whatever. Okay, at the moment we can only finance a single trade railway line, I would assume, right? Oh yeah, the station building, of course, also needs to have some space around here. Need one additional row in case we have to upgrade our yeah, stockpile here, for instance. Okay. That's not going to give us money, I can already tell. It's going to be pretty dreadful as a matter of fact. And of course need to use mixed trains for this, right? Okay, so what's the running cost here with these lovely old locomotives? Well, this one is capable of pulling 6 wagons. Over here we're getting 8. I think it's a better idea, but you need the capacity surely, yeah? These ancient things don't really do it for us. Okay, so we go for capacity because we need capacity. Maybe we try that. I guess it has to be done. And this is slightly newer locomotive, thankfully. Technically, it could be a modern steam locomotive, yes. 1925. It didn't progress very much from this point forward, except for streamlining and stuff like that. Okay, so I can already tell it will be only giving a slight profit, ever so slightly. Don't expect to make the big bucks here, of course. Okay, anything else you want to set up here right away? Maybe some wheat farms, you know, to make us some bread and whatnot. That could be a pretty decent idea, wouldn't you think? It's always a good idea to make a separate stockpile just for this occasion. Yeah, okay, this needs to be, of course, also in the catchment area of all these farms, and also the factory in the middle here, some players. Also something to keep in mind. But I mean, how much stuff can we finance up front? It's also the question we need to be asking ourselves. And we need some wheat, right? Anyhow, to brew us some whiskey. At least harvest 256 units, you know, something like that. Maybe we have to delay the wheat angle until later for bread and whatnot, but we simply cannot, right? Is there any other arable farmland? Over here, right? I suppose it could work. Then we have to cart the borders over here for local production and then put it into the stockpile, which of course is not accessible directly by a ship, because where would it be? Over here I don't see an easy way to get a railway line through there. This is marginal farmland at best, you know. That's not so great. Well, I'm a little unsure as to how we should be proceeding here, frankly. I guess then we start somehow and somewhere, right? Wouldn't you think? Doesn't look too hot here, frankly, but then again, what can we do? Little is the answer. Should be able to squeeze quite a few farms in here if you're careful. So for now we try that. Maybe also some apples eventually. Maybe. No, right. Now we just keep it exclusively for wheat, I suppose. Maybe that's a good idea, maybe it isn't. I'm not sure yet, frankly. We have to find out. Probably the hard way, I would figure. Probably right. Ja, so April, Oktober bei dem. I'm not quite sure how long this is going to last us, but the town can absorb quite a bit of bread, and we can also make other items in here, of course. The maintenance cost will be pretty substantial. I'm not quite sure we should be setting down additional farms right about now, but the stockpile should be lasting us, and then we can set up some food production maybe too. That's a big maybe. And I think we should be able to... Yeah, indeed we can. Exactly according to plan. So we could theoretically set up one additional farm maybe. Although... I don't think we can. No, right? Now maybe if we shift it over one tile, then maybe we can make it happen. But we have to make the decision maybe this year already. Doesn't look hot anyway, right? Like this maybe. Okay, just to make sure we can jumpstart the food production angle, I guess we do it. This one does fit in here, right? Thankfully it does. Okay, well then we hope for the best. What else can we do with that stuff right now? Nothing really, right? We don't have bread. Well, then I guess there's nothing else we can do right now except to use that one train here for the best. Keep an eye on what's available in the stockpile. And then buy a second train, maybe. Yeah, of course we cannot sell the booze. It's a loss-making operation. Goodie. Oh, that's a delight. Yeah, just for meat and milk deliveries, maybe. Wouldn't be a terrible idea. Well, but this is something we can work with, I guess. But I don't think it's going to make us a lot of money, not until we have some meat to work with to make some more profitable items here. The transportation costs, as customary in this game, are pretty overwhelming. I guess we can always restart the mission if we fail, but ideally I want to start the brewery angle sooner than later, because 256 items, that's going to take some time. And we only have 90s to work with, of course, so maybe we, well, of course we cannot, we need some fucking bottles for this, so that ain't happening anytime soon. Yeah, at the moment we can only wait around here essentially wide, because well, we need to save up some money for the food industries, and we also need at least one additional train here. Well, it's at least something. I suppose we need some ships eventually anyhow. Although we would have to transfer these items by train anyway, don't we? Because the stockpile is too far away to be easily accessible. I think we're earning a little bit of money, but it's hardly worth reporting. Yeah, just a tiny bit of money. That's very concerning. Yeah, I told you the difficulty won't be getting any easier as we move forward with the season here, right? Certainly doesn't. I mean, maybe we can increase the prices, but the demand is already pretty minuscule by all considerations. Yeah, I think we need to make some cakes, don't we? That would be a good idea. I think for this we also double tread the railway line sooner than later, because it's going to get pretty busy, since there's frankly no other way to yeah, use a cargo thing for this. And of course we also have to adjust the orders. Yeah, so they make the use of the correct line, for instance. That's pretty important. The game doesn't do this automatically for you, unfortunately, so... You big Dumbo. Why? Because the orders are wrong, I guess, something like that. That would be the reason, of course. And that is very finicky. I'm sorry. Yeah, this line, please. Yeah, that's more like it, isn't it? I would agree with that. So there's our harvest, fantastic. So now we can start the production of some baker's ware, maybe. We have to wait and see, of course. Depends on how many of those food industries we can actually finance all at once. Okay, we can access both stockpiles, right? Just double checking. If we can. Over here not so much, so we have to make our decision, right? So we only have spaces for 2 factories. That's unfortunate, wouldn't you think? Okay, so what shall it be for us? Baker's Ware, I did see some pretty decent demand over here. But I'm not quite sure. 10 is feasible. I'm not too sure about this. $10 per month though. I guess it could work. So let's just start production here, please. So we can ship out some more profitable items. And instead of hamburgers, as indicated here, we can only do something else, right? What is it all about? Some milk maybe for some donuts? I suppose we can make room for a second cattle ranch here someplace. Or make us some bread, you know. But you can see the profit margin is not exactly stellar by comparison. Okay, then we try to make some donuts here, I guess. Probably need another cattle ranch for this as well, just to make sure our milk deliveries don't slow down immediately. Of course, we need another train just moving these items here. Of course, at the moment we don't have the money for that. Okay, unfortunate. Yeah, we can also set up the food production and go someplace else. Maybe we have to, depends. I mean, the company value target, it shouldn't be hard to meet whatsoever. The other target is not so easy, of course, by comparison. And we desperately need to ship out these processed products, of course. Maybe you have to pause the game just to buy the locomotive. It's probably going to be that terrible here, right? No, it's like 100 something thousand, so all these expenditures are adding up, of course, since we're now making items we're not selling immediately. That's the problem. Okay, I don't think 107,000 is enough to buy locomotive. No, it's another month essentially. Oh, good, yeah. We've already run out of storage areas, as you can tell. Need to sell these items here pretty badly, of course. We're making 10 of those. Okay, and back here we can squeeze out 6.3. Because it will be important for the ratio on our trains, of course. But don't expect to make the big bucks here. But we only have 9 years to work with, you know, that's the thing. We don't have time for this. Maybe we can delegate one additional harvest just for the brewery Engo. Okay, can we please finally buy that locomotive? Yeah, barely right. It's 152,000 and we have 154,000. Doesn't get much closer here in this game, I would think. Okay, it ought to be roughly the correct ratio, I guess. Yeah, you're still picking the wrong line, aren't you? Right? No, this time around does work, but that's nice. I better get going, my friend. I told you this would make us the big bucks. I wasn't lying to you, was I now? Yeah, we need more trains here. It's extremely important. So we have space for, I guess. Yeah, it's an easy game. But it's not. We have to wait, of course, until the train clears that switch here. Okay, so, I think, which train makes us the most money? I'm not so sure. I don't see any item stockpiling here, of course, since we are selling everything we can deliver, of course. But we need to sell more eggs, and we also need to sell more milk, and we also need to sell more baker's ware and everything in between. Yeah, we need both trains essentially right. Okay, this one needs to be cloned. And then wir kommt die Brücke yet again. But we need to start brewing some stuff here. As long as we have some money for this, we should be able to save and away at least a little bit, I'm hoping. I don't think this will be quite enough. Okay, there we go. We need to, of course, also buy another train here just for egg and milk deliveries. I mean, there's no other town worth servicing, even for groceries, so what can I do? This town is absolutely small, there's no point of him trying that. Okay, 2 additional bottles here, I think we have to suck it up, right? There's a Brennschlein steamer. Yeah. Indeed, that's what it is. So it's cheaper to operate, but I think it can only pull 6 wagons. Yeah, indeed it can. It's not much cheaper to buy for that matter, so what gives I guess? Yeah, we need to do it sooner or later. Hamburgers would sell for a pretty penny. I suppose we could. But we can't access the stockpile any longer, so it has to be that way for now. They have to come from someplace else, I guess. These farms aren't that expensive to operate, but then again... At least we're selling all the items we can make, and the stockpile I don't think will last, you know. I don't think it will. But since we already missed out on this planting season, just have to hope, right? So 10 per month. This factory, so it's 16 per month, so I think it made it, yeah, it should be good enough actually. About balanced here surprisingly, but it's not by design, I can assure you. It's by accident really. Okay, so this is not a problem. Need another wheat stockpile here someplace. Exactly 200 and something, 256, no, but ideally we want to reuse the facilities if we can make this happen. But the harvest needs to start sooner or later, so then we have to just suck it up, I guess. Once we have some money for that saved up for next year. Yeah, I think it's a better plan. I suppose I could just click on the minimap, couldn't I? But I don't see any stockpile. We're delivering all the items you can get over here, that's pretty decent. Maybe we have slightly too many eggs here. Yeah, slightly why? Because eggs aren't used for anything else, surprisingly. You would think they would go into these cakes, but they don't. So, what gives, I guess. But this really is not very profitable by all accounts. Barely pays the bills, but only barely. Yeah, this is about even. I think we can exactly finance one operation here. For 1 year, I should say, with the stockpile at our disposal. Okay, now we need more milk, I guess. Yeah, at least you don't have to worry about the railway signals or anything in between. But we need to start brewing some stuff. It's extremely important. We also have to cut this shit to the other side of the map, you know, also to keep in mind. So it's going to be super easy, but hopefully we don't miss out on the next harvesting season. Or at least the planting season. Need to stockpile of the stuff, of course. And they only give us up to the end of, what was it again? 1934. Yeah, okay, time does progress pretty speedily in this game, does it not? Yeah, we need to stockpile of wheat. We can't stop this here because otherwise you go completely broke. That's not an option. Otherwise, I'm not quite sure what we can possibly do here. The town doesn't grow very speedily, right? Does it now? No, it's slow even, just to rub it in. Yeah, thanks for that game. Because these properties can be configured in the map editor. Or the scenario editor. Yeah. Then once we have the desired result, we can maybe start thinking about making us some hamburgers, you know. Although cutting this shit over there is probably unwise. But then again, can we go with some slightly less fertile farmland? So we can reuse the facilities, you know. That could be the better idea. Then again, we have to save up some money for these farms before we can even think about doing anything else. Because they don't produce stuff immediately, of course, that's the big problem. I think it was April, wasn't it? Oh boy, another year wasted, essentially, because we need to save up some money. It's not easy, essentially. That's the short story. Of course, starting with the brewery angle doesn't make any sense because we cannot sell the booze, because Prohibition is in effect, even though... Where are we even? I don't think we are in the United States. So why do we care about this? I'm not sure. But certainly it's not an item... Oh, actually we can sell it. We can sell it in here, really. Why though? Because we are not in the United States, I guess. But what was the news all about then, if this is the case indeed? Yeah, let's say Prohibition, right? I mean, it doesn't say anything specifically about the United States, right? But we can sell it over here supposedly. Okay, there we have it. Okay, so it's March. We need to set up some farms. And where are we setting down these farms? We need to fill up the entire stockpile. 256 items. And then we need to count over here to make us some sweet whiskey. Can we actually sell the whiskey right now? That may change our priorities then, presumably. At least once the next harvest has occurred. So we can sell whiskey in Mexico, I guess. Or in the Caribbean, so where we are. They only want one bottle here though, that's the thing. So we sell it under the counter, I guess. But at least we can sell a little bit if this were the case. Yeah, okay, only one bottle. So setting it up specifically for this one grocery store doesn't indeed make any sense. Because of the extraordinary high taxes, right? But it does sell for 17,000 at normal price. Because people are desperate, I suppose. They're dry and they're itching for some whiskey. Okay, interesting, but also kind of funny when you think about it. And the only quartz and deposits over here, of course. Yeah, okay, before we even plan anything else, can we get the Ravenland for here? Well, sort of, I guess. And is it possible? Yes, it is possible. So we can access the stockpile with some trains. That's at least something. But it needs to be somewhat central, ideally, wouldn't you think? I mean, we don't have time to waste. We need to deliver these items. At least put this on low burner, you know, when it comes to the production and everything. I suppose if we count the bottles over here, we can make ourselves some fruit juice as well. It's not a loss-making operation necessarily. If only we can build a bridge over here, which of course we cannot, right? It doesn't matter if it's road or rail, it ain't happening. Yeah, that's what I figured. Carting the fruit juice all the way over here doesn't make any sense whatsoever, so maybe we're going to use some ships for this after all. But of course, no docklands in here, I think. That ain't happening. Maybe this is happening. But only this one tie, I guess, right? Yeah, using trains for this ain't making any sense, I think. Bottles. Wheat maybe, and then we can brew the stuff locally and cart it out, I suppose, by train. This will be loss-making operation, but we need to get started here sooner or later. I have to make a decision now, otherwise we have plenty of problems. Also catastrophically bad, but could be better, of course. So which stockpile do we want to focus on? I guess we have to make a new stockpile then, I guess, right? Yeah, I guess we have to somehow. Oh, this is going to be a little bit expensive here, needless to say, but we need to do something, of course. So 12 for that here, and then we make room for some whiskey maybe and some glass. What would you think? Yeah, my heart is already bleeding because, well, I'm a cheapskate sometimes, and this isn't giving us any money, of course. But we need all that wheat here sooner or later. That's the thing too. And put it in the stockpile, please. We want to keep it separate, ideally. And this ought to be too far away. Yeah, that's what I figured. And then over here it's dropping off sharply in the terms of production and fertility. Yeah, and then we are completely broke already. Okay, nothing over here, please. Also, don't forget about setting up these farms because we waited for the planting season, right? Which will occur next month here. Yeah, maybe even 20, so we pay them ever so slightly more. Well, I do hope it's worth it. So once we have saved up, we had enough money, then we have to set up the glass industry, right? And start thinking about shipping out some stuff here. I think we can still set down farms in April if we pause the game immediately. Maybe we can squeeze one additional farm in here. Maybe we can make this happen. Then make us some hamburgers, for instance, once we have some bread for that. That may be food for thought, no pun intended. Just have to extend the railway line, of course. Okay, but without wheat, nothing is going to happen here. Yeah, 14. There seems to be prime farmland for some cattle ranching, though. So maybe there's that. Yeah, I think we have mixed out already, right? I think, at least. The stock is going to last us for the entire year anyway. Over there. Yeah, okay. So maybe some fruit plantations, alternatively. I think we go for some cattle ranching. Yeah, okay, we cannot make a lot of hamburgers with 1 point something here. So maybe on second thought, is there anything usable back here? I don't think that grocery store will give us anything, frankly, but 5.5 eggs? I mean, what's the option? And they only want one carton of eggs, so it's not even worth setting up, frankly. But they are interested in a bit of fruit juice. Because it's refreshing here, the Caribbeans, right? I mean, we already made our decision, didn't we? So I guess. And 20 crates of apples isn't going to last us for a whole lot here anyhow. Okay, I think we keep it exactly as it is, right? Because 14, really, 15. No, I don't think so. I don't think we're going to get completely broke here in the meantime, but otherwise, it's not exactly the biggest moneymaker. 10 million shouldn't be a problem whatsoever. I'm very concerned about the Bottle encoder, also delivering the sweet whiskey. Since property maintenance is a factor in this game, setting down the facilities first doesn't make any sense, of course. Yeah, that's the problem of being stuck with one of those smaller towns here, also very slow growing. Yeah, so it doesn't matter how many buildings we give this town. I don't think we're going to see any improvement back here. Probably not, I would think. That's too bad. This should be the hardest thing to set up, frankly. I hope at least. Put the stockpile in here, and then we have the glass factory and also the brewery, you know, something like that. The mission will end automatically once we have filled up the entire stockpile, I believe. Something like that. The goal is not to get rich, the goal is to deliver some whiskey and get rich later. Yeah, that's nice and all, but trucks are not really worth using here, I think. Ado does have an enclosed camp finally. Yeah, die Kenworth. Airfield tires. How advanced? Indeed, it was advanced at the time. But it was. Okay, so ultimately, I think we are getting things done here slowly but surely. Although, of course, we cannot sell the whiskey directly. Maybe one bottle over here per month is not so terrible after all. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't, but okay. I'm not quite sure it's worth using one truck for this. I think we'll rather fill up the entire stockpile, wouldn't you think? Okay, harvest was in October. We should have enough money by October to set in some facilities, but the ship isn't exactly cheap, you know. Yeah, okay, just use it exclusively for the storage of this stuff here for now. And then we put the glass in some other stockpile because it's not going to be accessible anyhow. I would think at least. Yeah, the stockpile is holding steady. There's nothing that needs to be optimized or changed, anything in between. Just have to hope for the best and count our Benjamins. Also probably a good idea to save the game here once in a while. Okay, our harvest has occurred, I see. Alright, so now we should be able to set up the glass industry, I'm hoping. If you have something left over, we make us some fruit juice, I guess. Okay, also need 2 ships for this here, right? Don't we? For instance, seems to be a good idea. And the maintenance depot we put over here because that's where we're going to maybe ship out some... No, I don't think we will, right? On second thought, I think we're trying to use some trains for this. Let's just put it in here, see what we can do. How many bottles do we need, realistically speaking? I'm not sure, frankly. I really am not. I mean, the demand is 256 bottles of whiskey, or crates of whiskey, I'm not sure. Well, we cannot sell it directly because there is no household store in this mission, so I guess. Okay, so well, I suppose for now we go for 4.5, I guess, maybe. And hope for the best. Something like that. Okay, we also need some infrastructure over here, of course. I guess small ought to be good enough for now. We just have to make sure it's in the catchment area. Don't really care about these farms, of course. Just to make sure that nothing gets delivered to the wrong area. And we have some baby food. That's a German baby food bark, by the way. Okay, so we can sell this with some milk. Okay, that's a good use for this item, I guess. Don't forget about the dogs, of course. Aircraft, really? I guess it's an option if things have to be really fast. Using ships for this is a little bit of a waste, really. Okay, but alrighty then, bit of the choice one. So running cost. This is substantially cheaper already. And we've already seen this, of course. And the brewery we set down once we have some items available. We also need to think about the railway line, of course. Aircraft, I mean, we can take a look at this. Cannot be too fancy, I suppose, given the era and all. There is no aircraft available. So why do we have the ability to build the airport? Beats me, to be honest. Okay, baby food. I guess making some additional dough wouldn't be so terrible, wouldn't you think? But another food industry, another cattle ranch. I think these are already humming away at full speed in DDR. I suppose it's an option. But I want to get this started here sooner or later, wouldn't you think? That's a good idea. So we have a bit of a stockpile, you know, so we can put some sweet booze in here. Yeah, okay, first bottles are being delivered. Since time is of the essence, we set down the brewery sooner or later. We need to be, of course, accessing both stockpiles, so this should be a good position here. Hoping. I guess we find out pretty shortly. Yeah, as you can see, we cannot make that many anyhow. It's going to be a pretty expensive railway line, only for delivery of whiskey and nothing else. Okay, goodie. But what else can we do? Not dispatch some ships, of course. Just invest the absolute bare minimum here, I guess. Something like that. Yeah, we already double checked, right? We can get the railway line for here, thankfully. Now, okay, the house isn't helping, I see, but we can make it happen here regardless. Yeah, make it the shortest route possible. I think the game should be smart enough to do this right, and thankfully it is. Okay, I guess two bridges, who's really counting, right? Who's really counting right now? And can we pick up anything on the return trip? The answer is no. It is the first aircraft available. I think it's a Curtis something, right? Can I possibly carry too many items at the same time? And we just set down our railway line. Yeah, 6 crates, right? Yeah, this is indeed the Curtis. A slow but large biplane. Alright, interesting, but I was a bit too late already, so we go with the not the branch liner, I would think. These are very cheap to operate, but they can only move at 70 kph. This one goes at 83. I guess we try that here. Yeah, and I need 2 trains, I think, right? Something like that to get started here. At the very least, I would think. But this is slightly cheaper to operate, although not very fast, of course. I don't think it was the sound of us making money. That seems unlikely. Okay, the baby food angle seems interesting. Maybe we can make this happen here somewhere without putting in too much of the additional infrastructure. At the moment we seem to be completely broke, unsurprisingly. And we're out of wheat over here, as it would appear. One additional bunch of... Okay, so of course stuff runs out right before that. That's lovely. Looks like we're going to need a couple more farms over here. Okay, but maybe we can remember to put this in before April. But of course it's too pricey, that's what I figured. We just went into the negative. Okay. Alrighty then. Yeah, I want to make some baby food maybe. But we ought to be putting in one additional farm in this area. And the rate of production is manageable, but the production costs are also pretty high, I would think. Never mind all these farms they have to supply here. Yeah, okay, these trains take quite a bit to return here, of course, unsurprisingly. But we're starting to fill up the stockpile, which is something. But we also need more trains, right? Because otherwise we're going to have some problems back here. Yeah, we need to use that wheat for something else here as well, don't we? Then again, we cannot take out the loans, but I guess. But the harvest did just occur. Yeah, we ought to use the excess wheat for something. But we can only do so many things at the same time, right? Maybe use the wheat to make us some bread and also some... Yeah, I know what I mean, right? We need more money here, that's very important. Hence, I'm wanting to sell some baby food here, of course. Yeah, we've delivered 12 out of 256. That's great. Maybe we ought to switch some of these to the planting of some apples, maybe. That could be a good idea, because we're going to need all that wheat here. Unless we're also going to make us some bread and some hamburgers. That could be a good idea. Then again, we need one additional food industry on both sides. Also extend the railway line here. Come to think of it, we're also missing one crucial component, aren't we? Indeed we are. These are relatively affordable. The food industry, not so much. Yeah, we have to process that excess wheat is somehow wide, don't you think? Bread isn't really worth shipping out directly. Well, it sort of is, because there's plenty of demand. Maybe make us some hamburgers. This would sell for a little bit more, of course. Doesn't have to be all hamburgers, but still. At the moment we can only finance one industry anyhow, so let's start making us some bread maybe. Something like that. It's on a slow burner, so we're losing all these items here, of course. Okay, getting a little bit convoluted here already, as you can tell. So we have some room for this, of course. So let's just start some productions here that we can do here. I think the demand will be at least a 10 plus here anyhow. But the stockpile may not last us that long, so we go for 6 maybe per month here and see what we can do. And we need to ship out some stuff as well, of course. Extending the railway line yet again. More trains, which we cannot really afford right now. And then we double track this here as well, I would think. It's going to be more than just a couple of items, I believe. Canto ranching wasn't super fruitful here, no pun intended, but I don't believe there's much room for more bakers there, whatever. I don't think there is, right? And this farm is just idling because I don't have the money right now for the baby food industry. Okay, good here. I guess we could then just make up some meat here, I guess, in the meantime. Just to make sure we're doing something. Okay, so I guess then we start shipping out some bread maybe, because, yeah, well, okay, one train shipping out some bread, I think that's something we need to do. Just to make sure we're earning a little bit of money. Even if it's not a whole lot. Should be able to get here and back once per month, I'm hoping. Just to make sure we're doing something with that wheat over there. The access we could sell in town because it's like right over here, right? Wouldn't you think? Some money on the side. It's never hurt anyone. Of course, if you could afford this, which of course you cannot right now. So it's really starting to add into our profit margin, as you can tell. It's getting pretty desperate here. And there are only 1-2 steps of, okay, I suppose it's better than nothing. Let's just do it and commit to that. Can't believe it's coming along. Without buying any more trains for this angle, we may be able to. It's a pretty strange path you're taking there, friend. Yeah, we need to move the stuff over here sooner or later. Okay, about there's no prospect of setting up some electric rail here, or some electrified rail, I'm sorry. Although this would be cheaper to operate, presumably. Yeah, the beauty of electric traction, right? Of course, only a handful of lines are actually still electrified in the United States. I mean, if you discount, of course, the metro lines and subways and things of that nature. I'm referring to heavy rail, especially across a country, like in the city. There isn't much that is still electrified, right? Or heaven forbid some electric freight trains. Yeah, our trains take such a long time to get back here. I'm very concerned. I don't want to dump all of my money into this angle, you know, because it's a loss-making operation. Although granted, we could sell one bottle of whiskey for a tiny profit. Maybe we do that, since we're just waiting around. It just doesn't make us any money, of course, directly. I guess we try that. Just one truck going back and forth and whatnot. I guess why not? Although it's only one truck, I guess it's manageable. Yeah, that's kind of funny. So we use one truck with a stars per month order, maybe, just to make sure. And then we sell some whiskey here. Even though it's only... Okay, I'm sure they can appreciate the gesture, at least, wouldn't you think? Let's just slap it in here, please. Yes, and we already saw that a couple of times already. So let's just make sure we can actually put it in a stockpile. Yeah, we can, no problem. And the demand was indeed one over here. Indeed it is. Okay. Of course, they're selling this under the table, presumably. I think we should be able to make this happen without buying additional trains, but we can speed up the process, otherwise we'd have to play through the entire mission, you know? I mean, wait for this to occur, of course. That's the problem with some of these parameters. So, I think it's all the trains we need on this line, so now we can focus our attention on shipping out some baby food, maybe. So what's the problem again? Of course, these farms I was unable to finance, right? Also thing, and to keep reminding myself of. I think we're waiting around for 1 month or so, so 2 additional farms, despite the terrible farmland around here, needs to be in order. Otherwise, we're not selling any donuts and, yeah, cakes that don't require any milk or eggs for that matter. I don't think you can use wheat, right, to make some cakes and nothing else. I don't think it works that way. So, let's just let this in here and another farm. It should last us for the 1.5 months or so weit of delay. At least I witnessed here. I think it's fine. Yeah, we're outselling the whiskey, of course. Well, as long as the police forces don't interfere. Then again, back here in the Caribbean, someplace, or Mexico, we're not subject to American law, right? Are we though? So who ultimately cares, right? Yeah, 3,900 and something here for the return trip. On the bread deliveries. Of course, only one way. That ought to be good enough, I'm hoping. Now we never have to worry about it again, I think, maybe. Yeah, I think it's manageable, right? Hopefully. That's not even halfway point to it, that's a problem. I mean, how many trains can I realistically put in here? We've already reached the breaking point, so to speak, with the deliveries in this area. Also something to keep in mind. And stockpile is going to last us for way too long anyhow, right, I would think. But ideally it shouldn't run dry, that's also pretty important. But this line is getting pretty crowded already. And for the baby food we only need milk, don't we? So maybe there's a good cattle ranching opportunity over here somewhere. Once we can check for that. Yeah, 8,753 bucks for the return trip. And we're not getting anything out of the deal directly. I mean, we can sell milk here right away if we wanted to, but as you can see, there's barely any profit margin on that stuff. But that's the thing. Yeah, the farmland is just terrible around here. I know there's farmland over here, but it's like on the opposite side of the map. That's hardly worth using. I guess we could also use the food industry, but the line is pretty busy already. Since we already set down the other farm, of course, or the cattle ranch. I mean, that's an option, wouldn't you think? Maybe 5 baby food or whatever here. I think there should be space for that, right? Yeah, indeed, there is one type for that. We can also upgrade the storage pile, of course, just to be on the safe side, so nothing disappears into the ether. How many bottles of baby food can we sell for that matter? I'm not quite sure. Maybe there's room for 7 point something. 7.5, whatever. There should be one dedicated train here, going back and forth, I guess. Once you have some money for that, of course. Whatever that may be. Next month, maybe. No whiskey. No. No. I said no, thank you very much. I'm sorry. Yeah, the cutscenes do overlap, of course, but no whiskey, please. We want some baby food, if you don't mind. Wait until full, ideally, yes. Okay, be on the merry way, please. Need the money. Yeah, it's pretty busy line already. Unfortunately so. I think we should be able to meet that target without losing yet more money. But this is hardly very efficient, I do have to say so. The largest shop we can sell 4 bottles of baby food per month, so it should add up to about 80 anyhow, right? Probably, and hopefully. Yeah, I think it does, so no problem. We should be able to sell every single bottle, since the stockpile is essentially not existent. No matter the item, they're selling everything immediately. Oh, goodie. Okay, now we're waiting around, while the bread is piling up on the stockpile because there's only 2 platforms. Yeah, maybe you have to scrap one train after all then. Okay. I guess I was a bit too ambitious here after all. Yeah, what's the problem? Probably the stupid bottles, I would think, not arriving frequently enough, right? Yeah, probably. It's always something in this game, I tell ya. It's not like we are not selling any bread in the meantime. No, so it's a catastrophe. But the demand is very low in this area, of course. Yeah, but just waiting around for way too long here. We need to keep moving. So maybe selling the train was a bit premature. But there's no room for additional platforms, right? That's also a thing. Yeah, okay, we already have 4 trains on this line. I think it's good enough. Once we, of course, also do away with the shortages and the stoppages and everything in between. Yeah, okay. It's barely... No, so quite the halfway point, right? I think. So we may need another train after all. I do have to use some planes for this. I hope not. I'm concerned I cannot finance another loss-making operation. We're barely getting by as it is right now. And of course, what other opportunities are there available? Hamburgers, but where? You know, that's the problem. Maybe switch this out for something else then, because we can use the bread for something else indeed, right? Can we not? And the food industry, and we make us some... once again, the problem is with the cattle ranching angle, because it's minuscule. But it is, of course, more profitable. Okay, I guess we try that. 1.9 slabs of meat. Okay, so it can only be a slow burner then, evidently. It's also too far away from the catchment area. 1.5. That's not really worth using, wouldn't you think? I don't think it's worth using. Yeah, would have to be imported from some place that isn't here. And I don't like that. Right, I guess this one's still in the catchment area, so it ought to be good enough, I guess. Just have to make some room for it. And then we start making us some hamburgers here, as on a slow burner maybe. Yeah, we need meat and bread, and we have most of that stuff here. 0.5, about all we can make anyhow. But even that, right? Okay, there we go, 2.6. And we have some bread left over here using the wheat or whatever. Now we have to, of course, also adjust the orders here of the train, I guess. Just to pick up some hamburgers here. If I can find our train, of course. Are we making too much bread, right? Presumably. Yeah, most likely. Have we seen the first hamburgers in here? What's the problem? Okay, one has been loaded already because it's super slow, right? That would be the reason. Okay, so, but this train is so expensive to operate, I don't want to sit around here and wait for all the shit, you know? It's also things, so, okay. Then only 2 hamburgers for now, and the rest we can sell in here maybe if there's something left over. Okay, we can sell 1 hamburger. It's 17,000 something. Pretty expensive hamburger, if you ask my opinion. Yeah, I think we're getting there. We have finally crossed the halfway point. Yeah, I struggle to think what else we can achieve in this mission other than fruit juice, maybe. I mean, it's theoretically possible. Still making way too many eggs here, supposedly. Otherwise, I think it's pretty decent overall. This ought to be increased, right? Because they're delivering more items than before. Well, technically, it's a completely loss-making operation because they're selling 1 crate of whiskey per month, something like that. I mean, are we going to make this? I don't think we do. I don't think we do, right? 6.7. I mean, it's possible theoretically, still. But time is running out for us, right? So what else can we do here? Our trains aren't exactly super fast. Yes, I know. But they're also expensive to operate. Okay, now we need to upgrade them, I suppose. Can we do this? Okay, 91 kph, this one goes at 80. Okay, so we need to electrify the radar presumably first. Ah, there we have it. Okay, so it's just a little bit finicky. That's what I remembered, but we can do it, thankfully. But it's just finicky, just a tiny bit. Okay, so this has been electrified, which is something. I think since we use the shortest path possible, they should use the same pathfinding algorithm this time around, right? And did they do? Fantastic. So it's now all electrified, which means we can upgrade all of our locomotives now. 1 vehicle at a time, I guess. Okay, interesting. Yeah, but we still can only carry 6 wagons, but at least it's faster than before. And that's the first electric locomotive in service. Probably not the last, I would think. This one, of course, needless to say, is way too modern. By at least 50 years or so. Okay, maybe not quite. Make that 45 years. Weapon point stands regardless. Yeah, so it's where all of our money goes, I think. But I really started the production as soon as possible, right? You cannot really blame me for that, can you now? This game certainly isn't very easy sometimes. Alright, okay, give me 1 more of those things and hope for the best here. That's all I can say, frankly. Do we need another brewery for this, maybe by chance? Don't think we can make this happen though. Our stockpile is also running a bit low already. Yeah, a couple more farms may be a good idea, but there's no room for additional farms because we already did a check that, didn't we? So we have to slow down the rate of bread production here, then I would figure. So slow it down to 4.5. And this one is already on a slow burner. Just to make sure the stockpile lasts a bit longer. I'm concerned here. We need to be brewing the stuff non-stop, of course. Okay, but is it a problem with deliveries? Speed they're off? Do we not have enough of those glass bottles? What's the thing now? We already increased the rate of production. I think the problem is, I'm not quite sure what the problem is. Is the ship being too slow? Can't tell me we need 2 ships for this, right? No, I think we have lots of quartz and in storage and glass bottles themselves. I suppose we can still make it. I don't think there's no need to panic, but we need more wheat, of course. I'm just, panicking here for no reason whatsoever, because looking at this again, I think there's no reason to assume we cannot make it. I think there should be no problem. Yeah, thankfully. Yeah, of course we also slowed down the rate of bread production, so also put this on a slow burner maybe. But the stockpile needs to last until the next harvesting season, and it's ought to be, but only barely. So there's that. Hopefully all this hard work will actually pay off at the end, but I think it will be, thankfully. I don't think I can make room for another farm here though, that seems unlikely. But we can certainly use more wheat. As a matter of fact, it's running 3 both angles, but it's just before the harvesting season. So the 2 farms, they do work thankfully. Only barely. I think we can make it happen, so we can just put it on the highest speed possible and enjoy the fruits of our labor here. Maybe also take a look at the statistics here once in a while. But the medium difficulty campaign is pretty substantial already. It ain't easy. At least we were able to make do with only 1 brewery this time around. I think it was a bit more complicated in the other season because it was green at this game. And it came down to the last 5 years if I'm not misremembering, something like that. I don't think we used any planes for this, right? Or maybe we did, I don't remember frankly. But I want to see if there was any profit to be had with these whiskey bottles. Well, we made 129,000 give or take. With 1 delivery per month. I guess it's interesting. Otherwise the moneymaker was milk and baker's ware, some cakes essentially. Interesting. But I think otherwise there should be no problem. We have plenty of company value. Yeah, almost double the target. Maybe our trains are waiting ever so slightly too long here. Maybe they are. but I don't think I will make any additional adjustments. I think we're done with this mission. Now just a matter of delivering the final items into the central stockpile, which thankfully is accessible by train. Yeah, under our watchful eye here, of course, of the company security guards, just to make sure. Sometimes you can also get items from the special storage pile. Not all the time though, but I think these mechanics will be introduced in the standalone missions, courtesy of the expansion pack primarily, and not in the base game. We will also see the introduction of new items and new factories and entire industrial chains. But so far it's a pretty workable setup. Yeah, okay, only a couple more train loads and then we are done, thankfully. I sure hope they will be satisfied with our performance, because it took some effort to get here. Yeah, only 3 more train loads, I believe, or something like that, and then we have it. Pretty enjoyable mission, although we did struggle a little bit here, because they restrict us to food stuff primarily. Thankfully, the company value target isn't so high. I think even without the money, we would be able to make this happen just with our static assets. And I think the whiskey bottles, they also count towards our objective still, because technically we do own them, right? Don't we? I think we do. Yeah, stock-wide, 1.6 million, so it must be that stuff over here in the stockpile, not just the wheat we're talking about. Yeah, we've run out of wheat, I see. Oh, goody, we can't have it, of course. Yeah, this is a problem, right? Well, regardless, there was a shortage here anyhow. So what gives, I guess. Thankfully, it's only a couple of trains away. 2 train loads to be specific. I could have been maybe more efficient here, but then again, we are trying to learn from our mistakes. So we need either 2 train stations or we need more platforms, either of those things. This one is completely overwhelmed with the demand here in this area. At least they didn't come back to bite us in the ass ultimately. That's all it counts, I guess. But this farmland is terrible around here, and I really could not have justified setting everything up over here. It's just way too far away. Transportation costs are overwhelming already as they are. And it's not like we could have made this stuff locally, the glass bottles, and there we have it. Fantastic, right? Yeah, maybe next time around, give us a household store, we can sell some bottles in it. Oh, okay. Donuts, also apparently pretty profitable. Hamburgers, we didn't deliver enough of those, I think. Baby food is a good runner-up already, because there was plenty of demand. I like that. Something else to keep in mind. Unsurprisingly, eggs, milk, and bread didn't sell for a whole lot. Yeah, barely anything. I think the train barely made any profit as a consequence. And with whiskey, not even the 180,000 mark. Turnover, of course, is also pretty decent. Yeah, cost, right? What was so expensive? Driving cost, I would figure. And of course, also the factory. Although we were able to make do with only 1 brewery, thankfully. I'm not quite sure if you have to pay maintenance for the special storage pile over there. Probably would assume as much. You just cannot see it directly, I would think. There's no info button, unlike the first Industriegigant, unfortunately so. Okay, but I do believe that's all we can do for today in this recording session. So, as usual, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.